There's anger in the Sudanese capital, Khartoum. People in small numbers have been protesting against a sudden increase in prices of basic commodities.
It's not limited to southern cities and Khartoum only. Almost half of the cities of Sudan are protesting now, but the protest itself is not that big because it's being treated in a very hard and violent way.
Bread is the most important staple for most Sudanese, and the prices have gone up after the government began a series of reforms to improve the economy. The government stopped importing wheat since last month, hoping that it would create competition between private companies and bring down prices. But bakeries say they've raised prices due to a shortage of flour.
The government says flour is subsidized by 10%, and they are saying they will remove it next month. It was 160, and next month it will reach 550 pounds, and that's an increase of 300 to 400%.
The price might be okay for me, but not for other people. Some families couldn't even afford it when it was £1.
In line with recommendations by the International Monetary Fund, subsidies are being eliminated. Sudan recently devalued its currency, and now the dollar is worth 18 Sudanese pounds instead of 7. Last year, the US government eased financial sanctions against Sudan, which led many to believe that there is an economic boom on the way.
Because the sanctions ended, we were pleased. We began to rearrange our lives, but we are surprised that life is getting worse.
Some say there was too much expectation for change too soon.
Because the sanctions were lifted just a few months ago, many people are very likely to argue that, well, now that sanctions have been lifted, maybe you're going to have a magic one for which it was lifted yesterday and today your conditions actually change, which is not necessarily the case. But of course, there is politics also. This government continues to be rather repressive.
The Interior Minister has denied that the demonstrations are in response to the hike in prices. He told the state news agency that protesters who cause destruction will be dealt with force. In recent weeks, Sudanese security forces arrested 3 opposition leaders and blocked the sale of 6 newspapers. But the unrest hasn't ended. Osama bin Javaid, Jazeera.